Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the weekly update from me, James Twigger, from Account of Everything, also Uncharted Business. Sorry for delay. I know a few people tuned in on Tuesday, and I wasn't here at 1 o'clock. I got tied up with a few things, but we're here. See how the whole Thursday at 10:30 a.m. slot goes. So, hello to everyone who might be watching on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or on YouTube. It'd be great thanks for joining us, really. So what we're covering today is kind of a bit of a mop-up session from last Thursday. So for those of you who don't know, I run the Torbay Entrepreneur Circle local events. So we take place on the last Thursday of the month at the Hampton by Hilton in Torquay. We had fantastic 18 people there, which is kind of a record turnout for us, which is fantastic. And the topic for that meeting was the local business growth blueprint. So it's basically looking at businesses who's kind of targeting local people. And what we covered was 10 top tips to help you as a business owner providing a service or product to your local community, how you can best kind of attract new customers. So I've got 10 minutes. I'm going to run through it really quickly. If anybody has any questions at all, please feel free to pop a comment in the comments box, and I'll respond to those if I can. Again, if you're watching this on the recording, feel free to kind of again message me through the Facebook pages or on LinkedIn, and we can. I'm happy to answer any questions that way. So here we go. So just quick kind of so hopefully that's going to move. There we go. So like I said, this kind of 10 minutes is really targeting those businesses who serve the local community. Got 10 we're going to be running through. Ideally, what we're looking at is kind of picking 3. So don't attempt to try all 10 in one go. Just first of all, pick 3. So as a local business, there's kind of 2 main ways there's only 2 ways to grow your business. First of all, you get more customers. And the secondly is you get more value from your existing customers. Sounds easy, but it's not necessarily easy at all. Again, just a quick reminder before we crack on with the first one that I'm not looking for, I don't expect anybody to be trying to do all 10, but pick 3 of these 10 that are most relevant for you. So the first one is leaflets. Again, doesn't work for every business, but it is something that will benefit the vast majority. Again, here at Entrepreneur Circle, got a number of template leaflets which have worked. There's a building company who they call it the £1 million leaflet, and that leaflet they designed and sent out to potential customers actually generated over £1 million worth of work. Again, here in South Devon in Torbay, I've got David Trainer, Trainer Distribution and Leaflets, who joined us at the meeting last week, and he talked about how it can be massively beneficial for businesses. Again, it's that repetition, it's building an awareness of your business. So it's brand awareness. It's and the more you do that, see, the whole thing about the Entrepreneur Circle as well is it's about that rhythmic acquisition of customers. So it's a steady flow or a regular flow of new customers coming through the door. And so by sending out leaflets, it's something that some people might put in the bin, but people might leave on the side and say, oh, right, I needed a window cleaner. So I've had that there. I remember I've seen their leaflets come through every few months over the while. So I'll give that window cleaner a call. That'll work really well. What sort of things can you include in your leaflets? So this is an example one that an electrician used. Basically, again, this one was a bit different to stand out from the rest. So kind of that's almost appealing to the fears of what you can solve. So as an electrician, don't end up like that. Also, this guy, Andy Wilcox, who actually he's now an employee and works as part of the Master Plan Entrepreneur Circle, but he is previously an electrician, and what he did was really target those things that people more concerned about when they hire an electrician. So he put this, but in his marketing material. So he stated on there, he's reliable, he's trustworthy, he's professional, clean, courteous, and honest. So nobody likes it when the tradesman doesn't turn up when they said they're going to. They leave a mess. So that was what he put in his selling points, and he even actually offered a guarantee that if he was late, he'd offer the money back to the customer. So it was a really kind of great way of doing it. And another thing as well is if you've got a van, I'm not sure if you can see if you're watching on a phone screen, but that's Andy sat in the back of his van, and I'm pointing, and you can't see where I'm pointing. But if you look there, there's a little sign, a little pointer that says "take a card," and that's just a little kind of stick-on thing, and it goes on the back of his van. It's got a flap, so it is kind of waterproof, so it's worth paying a couple of extra quid to get one, but it's waterproof. But when everybody sees his van, again, you can imagine, obviously seen his other kind of market material, it probably stood out there as well. So people see his car and they take that, and that's a really good way of kind of generating a bit more business, and you don't really have to do anything. You just stick on a little card holder on the back of your van, and people can kind of grab that, and hopefully you get some business from that. So that's number one. Number two is leaflets. So we had Mike Tucker from the Videopreneur join us at the event last week, and he basically talked about the benefits of video. And it's true, so there is no longer an option when you are kind of a business and you're promoting yourself online. It's not really an option to use video now. It's now essential. I've got a few stats on here, whether you can see it, but the key here is the fact that more and more people are absorbing their watching videos, whether that is on Facebook Reels, on YouTube, or on TikTok. More and more people are watching videos, and of those people who were interviewed for this survey, 85% said that videos help them connect more with brands more effectively, and 70% said that businesses that use videos boost brand awareness. And it's getting to one of the reasons why I started doing videos. Again, back in the pandemic, I was doing it largely just to help people, but we quickly saw the benefit of doing it. So hence bringing back the live videos now, hopefully that's been kind of useful to educate you, and actually hopefully you can build trust with me, and I'm kind of helping you guys as business owners, or said last week, we're talking to employees to help see if they can get more tax back. So again, if you haven't watched that and you are an employee, not a business owner, catch up on last week's video, because we were talking about how as an employee, there's extra expenses that you can claim, and perhaps get some tax back. So the key is, so you can see there's more and more people watching videos, different platforms. So the question is, why are people not doing it? And again, Mike kind of came with a few ideas. Originally, people were worried about the affordability of the kit. I mean, with the fact, with now, where's my phone? People can do most things on a phone these days. They have fantastic cameras on the back of them. You can pretty much, and most of them you can actually stream live onto social media, or record something that's good enough to put on your Facebook page, on your whatever. You can put it on. You can do some little editing, put it on TikTok. So affordability kit isn't really an issue anymore. Again, availability of expertise. There's a lot of apps out there. You can actually do it yourself. I mean, so Mike from the Videopreneur, that's his business. He does professional videos. So there are people out there that do that. But again, you can do it yourself. And as a startup business, you don't have big funds to put towards marketing. But again, you can now do it yourself. A lack of ideas and understanding, and the fear of doing it. I mean, no one really cares what your hair looks like. No one really cares what you look like, or it's just getting out there and doing it. And for me, I mean, one of the tips that I talked about last week was, if you're doing it live, you can't take it back. I mean, last week's video was an absolute shambles. I lost all my notes just before I went live, but I said, right, I'm going to do it. I still logged on at 1 o'clock last Tuesday, and I got the content out there. But yeah, it wasn't perfect. Would I have liked to have been better? Absolutely. But we've still had some great feedback from that video. And I know that people have actually gone back and been able to claim stuff from the advice that I gave last week. So if I hadn't have done it, if I'd have thought, oh no, I don't want to do it, then people wouldn't have been able to get any of that back. Again, the reason for doing videos, people by people. Like I said, I'm kind of here talking to you. I'm just one of 12 members of staff accounting for everything. But I said, people know me and they kind of want to talk to me, but I'm just kind of almost just the marketing guy these days, and I focus more so on the business coaching and the mentoring side of things. But again, from doing the videos, I mean, I'd love to get some of the other guys to do the videos. So watch your space, and if any of the team at Account for Everything watching this, I might be asking you to take over these at some point. But yeah, so again, video, people by people, and it's a way of getting in front of people, whether you do it live or whether you do it on kind of recorded. Local magazines. So next one, I'm very conscious I was going to do this in 10 minutes, and we're already 10 minutes in, and I'm on number 3. But we'll keep on cracking through. So local magazines. We had Gesha from the Beach Hut magazine, who, again, if you're based in Torbay, you'll know that there's about nearly 20,000 or more than 20,000 copies of that magazine that goes out every week, and that's been running for over 15 years. Local magazines are a fantastic way of getting in front of local people, because they get delivered. I'm just looking again for my notes. So get in front of local people. Again, similar to the leafleting, if you advertise regularly, the key there is perhaps having that brand awareness that you advertise month in, month out. So again, people might not need your services straight away, but it's making people aware of you. So when they do need your services, then the first person they think of is that person they've seen in the advert month and month. Again, same with the leaflets. If you ever wanted to try and track how well your advertising is doing in a particular whether it's a magazine or a leaflet, these days you can create QR codes really easily, and you can have a unique QR code per advert you put out, so you can monitor that and see exactly who's using that. It's so easy to create virtual phone numbers as well, so you can actually kind of create maybe a unique phone number for a particular advert going in a particular magazine, and then you can track that and see how much feedback is coming through it. So it's all kind of there's ways of tracking these things to see how good they are. But I said local magazines are definitely a great tool. As I mentioned there, long-term commitment, and obviously you can have a look around to see any other kind of publications and sites. Number 4. This is where we're going to moving slightly into a few kind of funkier areas. So the referral tombola. So this is something that, again, it's kind of come through the Entrepreneur Circle. So it was first example was a chap who was a dentist, and he was looking to grow his practice, and he didn't know how to do it. Basically, he was setting up a new branch, and what he wanted to do is effectively try and make it profitable from day one. So he came up with the concept of a referral tombola. So what he said is, again, you can see that that's pretty much it. It's a tombola. So he had 500 envelopes to go in there, and what he was doing is, the idea being that if every customer introduced one more new customer, then you could double your income. So it's a way of kind of growing really quickly by effectively using your existing customer base to let's just come through. Yeah. So I'll come back to that one in a minute. So if you use your existing client base to refer friends and family, then hopefully they can, then you grow very quickly. And by incentivizing them through a kind of a raffle would be a great way of doing it. So the dentist came up with the Big Apple kind of competition. So the winner would get to go to New York. Then along the Apple theme, they then had a few iPads to give away. And then there'd be one top prize of the trip to America, to New York. There was a few iPads and other Apple kind of goodies as the kind of runner-up prizes, and then they had 480 apple pies. So again, not great, but what they did was that total prize fund was about £5,000, and they actually, so that's how much it cost. But again, small businesses, and you guys who are watching this, you probably haven't got £5,000 around to spend on a marketing campaign. It doesn't have to be 5,000. You can do it much, much smaller. When looking at this as a dentist, their average annual fees are probably £100 or so. And if they were bringing in 500 new customers at £100 over the course of that kind of customer lifetime, that's going to be huge. And they get that £5,000 back multiple times over. So yeah, so that's just an idea. So actually, it's just effectively using referrals, but turning it into a bit more of a competition. So that was a great way of doing it. Number 3 is email. So again, I talked about emails on one of these lives a few weeks ago, and basically email marketing, it's so easy. I mean, we all get our spam emails and we scroll through in the morning, or delete. And some businesses, again, local businesses, I think that it's the big businesses that you tend to get all the spam stuff. I think small local businesses just aren't using emails enough, and it's still a really good way to generate business. And you're potentially missing an opportunity if you're not sending emails to your list, whether that's existing customers, potential customers, any kind of previous customers as well. Obviously, they've got the opportunity to unsubscribe if they want. So yeah, quality emails. I can go back and I'll put a link to the original one, but we talked about the ideal kind of email structure when we talked about email mastery. It must have been last month sometime. And the idea being that you use these emails to tell stories. So you've been engaging. So you typically have a beginning, an introduction, you tell the story and the main content of it, and then you kind of end it with a bit of with a call to action. So whether that's give me a call and we'll catch up sometime, or sign up for this, join me for this event. So what you're doing is you're engaging, you're getting them kind of sucked into the email, and then at the end you kind of have that call to action to give them an action or something to do. The key is as well, again, I like to try and do this more. I mean, the slide says more than once a week. If you can send out a regular weekly email, I think that's great. I mean, from Accounting for Everything, we send out a monthly one. So every month we send out our taxi. It's basically more tax and accounts related. So it's quite a dry email really, but it's informative and it's got the guides and everything out. On top of that, I do a monthly one. I'm trying to ramp that back up to weekly again, and that will be basically more fun, personal, and just more storytelling. And that's kind of how I'm doing that. And the feedback we get, again, how many people read there's more people that read my personal ones than do the Accounting for Everything ones, and I don't know why that is. We're looking at playing with structures, but either way, the key is just getting it out there and telling stories. Space lasers is the next one. Again, you might never have heard of a space laser. So what it's all about, it is effectively from space. It's very targeted. It's Facebook advertising. So what you can do when you're doing the Facebook adverts, you can include pins use pins to include and exclude locations. So for example, if you were looking to target hairdressers and there was a national hairdressing convention going on at the NEC in Birmingham, and there's a little map of it there, what you could do, you could draw a mile circle around and say, that is where I want to be targeting. But if you look closely on there, you'll see that circle also includes quite a wide area around. So there's people at Birmingham Airport. You might get people you might find people who are waiting to jump on a plane to, where am I going? Mallorca. That's where I'm going later today. You can, so you don't want to do that. So you can then use the exclude. So you say, first of all, we put that circle there, and you build up more circles. So what you're actually doing is this whole space laser concept is effectively creating a small circle right in the middle, which you're targeting. And that could be effectively the area of the NEC where your people are, where your targets are. So if you know people are having an exhibition, so your target customers having an exhibition or event, whether in specific offices or specific places, you can use that kind of technique to target particular areas. And that's why I call it space laser. It's basically going straight down to a particular area. I don't even know what number we're on. We'll be on 7, right? Nearly there. I've got 5 minutes and I've got to be gone. So competitions. So this, again, is another business who are looking to grow rapidly. You can tell from his funky eyewear, he is you can probably guess, he sells his glasses, an optician. So he basically wanted to grow. He had again, similar to the dentist one, he had a second location, and he wanted that location to be profitable from month 1. And it's almost unheard of, because generally when you open up a new opticians in a completely new area, it takes a while to build up the reputation, it takes a while to build in the customers. But he didn't want to do that. He really was desperate to get in. So what he offered was did a competition, a free pair of designer glasses every year for 5 years. So, I mean, these things, what he was doing is £1,000 pair. So basically it was a £5,000 worth of glasses at retail value, but they cost him £200 or so each. So actually over 5 years, it was basically about £1,000 it cost him. But what he did, he put that across his kind of marketing platforms, his social media, and he got hundreds of people applying for this. So that was all building up his list. So he drew the winner, they got their prize, fantastic. He then had the email addresses and all the other details of the other kind of people who didn't win. But what he did, he basically said they sent him a message to say they won a runner-up prize. So they came along for a free eye test worth £775, and they had £100 off any pair of glasses. I think there was like a £500 minimum. So they were still generating profit. And he suddenly had this, from the competition, most people came along and took up the free eye test, and then a lot of those also took up the glasses as well. Then you get in the routine, you invite them back for an eye test with a 12, 24 months after that, and you've got your customers, you've got your regular thing. And he actually does this competition a couple of times a year now because it was so successful. So that's kind of number 7. Next one is reviews. Reviews are huge. And they do matter a hell of a lot. They show, when people look at it externally, it helps give them, it shows reliability, sincerity, integrity even, consistency, commitment, and competence. So all of these things, basically, it comes together and it talks trust. So how do you do it? Number 1, you pick your platforms. You don't need to do everything. So most people focus on Facebook and Google. They're the two kind of premium ones. Depending on your industry, you might use Trustpilot, Check a Trade, Yell. People are still using Yell, I think. So first of all, is pick those platforms. Don't go crazy. And then what you need to do is ask your customers. The ideal way of doing it is asking systematically. So systematic requests for reviews gives you regular reviews, and it's that kind of that systematic kind of acquisition, that regular acquisition of customers coming in. So once you've asked your customers, how do you do it? First of all, you can do it kind of manually. So you send them an email saying, thanks for choosing us. How do we do? And then you ask them for a kind of a score. Once you've had that feedback, again, not everybody's going to feed back. You reply saying, great, brilliant, thank you. I'm really glad that all went well. And then you give them a link to that Facebook or Google or one kind of whatever system you're using to do your reviews, you send them to that. If you're feeling quite confident, so what that does by doing it that manual way is actually it filters out any negative comments from being in the public domain. You'll get them, and it's good to have negative because it's an opportunity to learn and feedback and kind of improve things. If you're feeling really confident, if you've gone through it and you're pretty sure, you can send out kind of a blanket email to customers and basically just give them the link straight away. What we always recommend, though, is you always respond and reply to every review, good or bad. And it just shows that you as a business are you're taking responsibility for the good and the bad. And I said, bad isn't the end of the world because it shows that you can prove that you can learn from it and improve and make sure that doesn't happen. Again, if you haven't seen any previous videos, I've talked about scorecards before, and scorecards are effectively it's a way of monitoring your business, whether that's a weekly or monthly scorecard. So you show basically if your business is on target or off target. So scorecard, you may look to try and get 2 reviews processed a week. So if you have that as your target, then each week you update your scorecard, and you put in enter the number, and then you can set it up so it goes green if you do the right amount or more, or it goes red. And if you have that consistent red, you need to be doing something to be encouraging more reviews coming in. Number 9, I'm really running out of time now, so I'm gonna have to dash in a second, but BombBomb, that is video messaging. So it's sending personalized videos via email. BombBomb's the tip. I always use Loom, very similar. Both of them have a small fee to do it. They are free options as well, but it is a really good way of doing it. If you're sending quotes, proposals, you can follow up with leads. So maybe you sent a proposal, we haven't heard anything back. You can send them a little video that says, hi, I hope you're doing well. Just want to follow up. If you've got any questions, give me a call. Again, more people will respond to those videos than they will an email sometimes. Answering questions. So again, in my coaching role, if a client's got a query over some marketing material, I will often kind of put it up on the screen and have a little screen share and do a video and send that back to them. We're kind of critiquing any marketing stuff. And it's again, building relationships. People visually, it's better to build relationships with videos than it is perhaps just on text. So you can see people, you can hear people. So yeah, it's a really good thing. Same argument for using video for marketing. Again, 81% more replies for a video message. And that's an example there of Nigel from EC. Not a great photo, but it gives you the idea. The email comes through and you get a little kind of GIF with a summary of exactly what's going on. And the best thing is you also get full tracking of those emails as well. You can see if they've watched it, you can see if they've clicked it, if they watched the whole thing, and then they can respond directly through that. So it's simple, easy, and effective. And just send them out and you will get results. And finally, do not F up the follow-up. It is the most important thing. You don't necessarily need more leads. You've probably got leads that you've never followed up on, or ones that have gone cold, people that said no at the time, and you want to go back to them. So again, more thought, more activity can create a lot more sales. Again, go back to my previous thing about the 3-line email. I will post a link in the comments of this if you haven't seen it. But the 3-line email is a very simple thing, and using that every quarter to follow up previous leads that haven't come through. And it's simply 3-line email is, hi Bob, are you still interested in accountancy services? James. It's literally simple as that, 3 lines. Ping those out every quarter and see what the responses are. And that just reminds that it is not one and done. And also, WhatsApp is a great follow-up tool. Cool. So just follow up. That little there is it's something I'll be talking about next week. So Genie AI is a new marketing platform from Entrepreneur Circle. I'm very fortunate to be one of the first 50 people to be trialing it or to be in the beta testing. So yeah, I'll be running through that next week. So that is it for today. I've got a dash. Have a great week. I will see you. I'll be back on Tuesday at 1 p.m. So back to normal time again next week. Yeah, have a great week and I will see you again then. Bye.